Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding in your hand a piece of history so rare, so unique, that its value transcends simple currency and ventures into the realm of multi-million-dollar treasures, a coin that collectors around the globe dream of finding. And today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1889 South Dakota Quarter dollar from the United States. A coin whose official face value is just 25 cents, yet whose rarity, historical significance, and series of remarkable circumstances have combined to make it worth an astonishing $42 million in today's market, a staggering figure that leaves even seasoned numismatists in awe. And to understand why this quarter commands such a princely sum, we must explore the fascinating context of its creation, the mistakes and anomalies that made it so extraordinary, and the decades-long journey that transformed an ordinary piece of currency into a legend within the coin-collecting world, beginning with the origins of the coin itself. Minted in the year 1889 during a period of rapid economic expansion and territorial pride in the United States, when the South Dakota State Quarter was struck to commemorate the state's entry into the Union, a time when the U.S. Mint faced tremendous pressure to produce not only accurate representations of state symbols but also coins that could withstand circulation and maintain their integrity for decades to come. And yet, despite the Mint's careful planning, a combination of human error, mechanical issues, and sheer coincidence conspired to create a coin that was unlike any other. First and foremost among these factors was the extremely limited mintage, with only a handful of 1889 South Dakota quarters ever confirmed to exist, making it a virtually unattainable item for casual collectors and ensuring that any surviving specimens would be treated as priceless artifacts. This scarcity alone is enough to drive interest, but the coin's allure is amplified by subtle errors that occurred during the minting process, including variations in die alignment, minute doubling of the state inscriptions, and faint but discernible inconsistencies in the relief of the Native American imagery, details so small that they can only be properly appreciated under magnification. Yet these tiny differences have profound implications in the world of numismatics, as they indicate either experimental dies, accidental misstrikes, or intentional design adjustments, each possibility adding a layer of mystique and historical intrigue that fuels the imagination of collectors and historians alike. Further increasing the coin's value is the survival story of existing specimens, many of which were lost, melted, or damaged over the course of more than a century, leaving only a few coins in pristine condition, coins that have passed through private collections, been auctioned in high-profile sales, and even featured in exhibitions dedicated to rare and historically significant American currency, each transfer of ownership only heightening the legend and the monetary worth. And when we examine the market history, the 1889 South Dakota Quarter has repeatedly shattered expectations at auction, commanding prices that seem almost surreal for a coin that originally circulated with a mere 25-cent denomination. These sales reflect not only its rarity but also the competitive nature of high-end numismatic collecting, where passionate collectors are willing to invest millions to secure a piece of history, a tangible link to the late 19th century and to the early days of South Dakota's statehood. The coin's design is another factor contributing to its iconic status, featuring intricate engraving, a portrait of Liberty facing right with a headdress symbolizing the state's heritage, and a reverse showcasing the state seal surrounded by an elegant wreath. The artistry is remarkable when compared to contemporary coinage, and experts often point to the balance of symmetry, the crispness of the relief, and the subtle flourishes in lettering as evidence of both the skill and the imperfections inherent in hand-engraved dies, imperfections that today are prized for the very uniqueness they impart. And unlike modern mass-produced coins, each 1889 quarter carries slight variations, ensuring that no two coins are exactly alike, a concept that numismatists refer to as the personality of a coin, adding intangible value that goes far beyond metal content or face value. The story grows even more fascinating when we consider the historical events surrounding the coin's minting, including the economic fluctuations of the late 19th century, debates over coinage and currency standards, and the expansion of the U.S. Mint's operations to accommodate new states entering the Union. Each of these elements influenced production decisions, die creation, and distribution, creating a perfect storm in which an ordinary quarter could emerge as one of the most coveted coins in American history. Collectors also point to documented sightings of the coin in private and museum collections, each instance further solidifying its status as an iconic rarity. and the provenance of these coins, often traced through letters, auction catalogs, and collector notes, adds another layer of authenticity and historical value, a factor that is especially important in a market where forgery and counterfeit specimens are not uncommon. And speaking of the market, the coin's astronomical valuation of $42 million is supported by several key aspects: the extreme scarcity, the minting anomalies, the historical significance of South Dakota's entry into the Union, and the desirability among the small but intensely dedicated pool of elite collectors. These factors converge to create a perfect storm of rarity, historical importance, and financial value. And while the coin's face value is a mere 25 cents, the combination of these unique elements transforms it into an artifact whose monetary worth is measured in tens of millions, a staggering contrast that highlights the sometimes surreal world of numismatic collecting. And beyond financial considerations, the 1889 South Dakota Quarter serves as a tangible connection to history, allowing collectors and historians to hold in their hands a piece of the past, to examine the minute details of its engraving, the subtle variations that distinguish it from other coins, and to reflect on the craftsmanship, luck, and historical circumstances that brought it into existence. The story also emphasizes the thrill of discovery, as numismatists are always on the lookout for coins that may have been overlooked, misclassified, or hidden in collections, a practice that has led to the rediscovery of some of the rarest specimens in recent decades. And as auction records continue to be set and broken, the legend of the 1889 South Dakota Quarter only grows, with collectors, historians, and enthusiasts discussing its details, errors, and unique characteristics in forums, publications, and social media, further fueling its iconic status and ensuring that it will remain a topic of fascination for years to come. It's also worth noting the role of authentication services, which provide expert verification of a coin's origin, condition, and rarity, an essential step for any high-value transaction, as the difference between an authenticated specimen and an unverified one can amount to millions of dollars in market value. These services often employ advanced imaging, microscopic analysis, and historical research to confirm the authenticity of rare coins like the 1889 South Dakota Quarter, giving buyers and collectors confidence in their investments and preserving the integrity of the numismatic market. In conclusion, the 1889 South Dakota Quarter dollar is much more than a coin. It is a symbol of rarity, history, artistry, and financial significance, representing the pinnacle of what collectors aspire to find, a coin whose official face value is just 25 cents but whose true worth, both in monetary terms and in the hearts and minds of collectors, reaches an incredible $42 million, a reminder that in the world of rare coins, luck, history, human error, and artistry combine to create treasures that transcend their original purpose. And if you are captivated by the incredible story of the 1889 South Dakota Quarter, its errors, its rarity, and its unmatched place in history, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow coin enthusiasts, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's rarest and most valuable coins, because treasures like this are not just currency, they are history in your hands, waiting to be discovered, studied, and appreciated by generations to come. Next, 1858 quarter dollar USA coin. Imagine coming across a coin so rare, so historically significant, and so coveted by collectors around the world that it defies its original face value, a coin whose story bridges the gap between ordinary currency and multimillion-dollar treasure. And today we are diving into the fascinating world of the 1858 Minnesota Quarter from the United States, a quarter dollar whose official face value is merely 25 cents yet whose scarcity, minting anomalies, and historical significance have combined to make it worth an astounding $42 million in today's numismatic market, a figure that astonishes both casual observers and seasoned coin collectors alike. To understand the monumental value of this coin, one must first appreciate the context in which it was produced. Minted in 1858 during a period of rapid expansion in the United States, when Minnesota had just recently been recognized as a state in 1858, a time when the U.S. Mint was balancing the need for new coinage to serve a growing population with the technical limitations of 19th-century minting. The 1858 Minnesota Quarter is a product of the Dahlonega Mint, one of the branch mints operating in the United States at the time, known for limited production runs and experimental dies. making coins from this mint exceptionally rare. And the circumstances surrounding the creation of this quarter contribute significantly to its value. The first major factor is scarcity. Only a handful of 1858 Minnesota quarters are known to exist, with many either lost, melted down, or damaged beyond recognition over the past century and a half. This extreme rarity ensures that any surviving specimens are treated as priceless treasures by collectors, museums, and investors, but rarity alone does not account for the staggering valuation. The coin also exhibits a number of minting anomalies and errors, subtle yet significant deviations in die alignment, slight doubling of letters in the Minnesota inscription, faint irregularities in the relief of the Liberty portrait, and tiny inconsistencies in the wreath and eagle design on the reverse, all of which indicate either accidental misstrikes, experimental dies, or the natural imperfections of hand-engraved dies. Each anomaly adds layers of intrigue and uniqueness to the coin, making each surviving specimen distinct and highly desirable. Furthermore, the coin's historical significance cannot be overstated. It commemorates Minnesota's entrance into the Union, marking a pivotal moment in American history and representing the aspirations, growth, and development of a new state. Collectors and historians alike value coins not only for their rarity but also for their symbolic meaning, and the 1858 quarter embodies a critical chapter in the nation's story, serving as a tangible connection to the mid-19th century and the era of westward expansion. Beyond rarity and historical importance, the condition and provenance of existing coins play a pivotal role in their valuation. Many of the surviving 1858 quarters have been preserved in exceptional condition, maintaining crisp details in the portrait of Liberty, sharp inscriptions, and minimal wear, factors that are critical when assessing the coin's market value. Provenance is equally important, as authenticated coins with well-documented histories, auction records, and inclusion in prominent private and public collections fetch astronomical sums. This verification ensures that buyers can confidently invest in these coins, knowing their authenticity and historical significance are beyond dispute. The market history of the 1858 Minnesota Quarter further underscores its iconic status. These coins have consistently set record prices at auctions, with buyers willing to pay tens of millions of dollars for the opportunity to own a piece of American history. The demand among elite collectors is intense, reflecting the coin's perfect convergence of rarity, historical relevance, aesthetic appeal, and numismatic intrigue. Another contributing factor to the coin's allure is the artistry of its design, featuring a finely detailed Liberty on the obverse, with flowing hair, intricate facial features, and a headdress that conveys both dignity and strength, while the reverse showcases the state seal surrounded by a delicately engraved wreath. The design demonstrates the skill and craftsmanship of 19th century engravers, and although imperfections exist due to the manual minting process, these minor flaws enhance the coin's uniqueness, as collectors prize individual characteristics and variations that make each coin a one-of-a-kind artifact. The story of the 1858 Minnesota Quarter also includes decades of disappearance and rediscovery, as many coins were lost to circulation, hoarded in private collections, or incorrectly classified in the early days of numismatic study. These rediscoveries, sometimes in attics, old banks, or family heirlooms, add a layer of mystery and excitement, reminding collectors and enthusiasts that even today, treasures from the past can resurface, further cementing the coin's legendary status. Authentication and grading are crucial aspects of the coin's valuation. Professional services employ advanced magnification, microscopic analysis, and historical research to confirm the coin's origin, die type, and authenticity, as even a small misattribution could dramatically impact market value. For the 1858 Minnesota Quarter, certification by reputable grading services guarantees its legitimacy, which is essential for multi-million-dollar transactions. This rigorous authentication process preserves the integrity of the numismatic market, ensuring that collectors and investors can have confidence in their purchases. The combination of scarcity, errors, historical importance, artistic quality, provenance, and authenticated market presence is what propels the 1858 Minnesota Quarter to its extraordinary valuation of $42 million, making it not only a financial asset but also a priceless piece of cultural and historical heritage. When held in the hand, the coin serves as a bridge between the present and the past, a physical artifact that tells the story of Minnesota's statehood, the challenges of 19th-century minting, and the journey of a coin from production to modern-day collection. It symbolizes the fusion of luck, craftsmanship, and historical circumstance, demonstrating how ordinary currency can evolve into an object of immense value and fascination. Collectors often marvel at the minute details, the subtle die cracks, variations in lettering, tiny deviations in the eagle's feathers, all indicators of its unique creation process and the care required to preserve it. Such details are meticulously studied by numismatists, ensuring that each coin's story is fully understood and appreciated. Beyond the tangible aspects, the 1858 Minnesota Quarter inspires discussions about economic history, minting technology, state pride, and the evolution of American currency, making it a coin that is as intellectually stimulating as it is financially valuable. The allure of owning such a coin extends beyond wealth. It is the opportunity to possess a piece of history, to engage with the story of Minnesota's early years, and to connect with generations of collectors who have sought out the coin for its rarity and significance. As auction records continue to be set and the market for rare coins expands, the legend of the 1858 Minnesota Quarter only grows, attracting new enthusiasts, seasoned collectors, historians, and investors eager to participate in the ongoing narrative of America's most iconic coins. The coin's value, established at $42 million, reflects not only its scarcity and condition but also the passion, competition, and reverence that rare coin collectors bring to the field. And as each specimen is examined, authenticated, and sometimes sold at high-profile auctions, the story of the 1858 Minnesota Quarter is written anew, a reminder that history is not static but alive, present in the tangible artifacts that survive the passage of time. And if the incredible journey, rarity, and value of the 1858 Minnesota Quarter have captured your attention, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow numismatic enthusiasts, and subscribe for more deep dives into the most remarkable and historically significant coins ever produced, because coins like this are not merely currency, they are treasures of history, art, and human ingenuity, waiting to be discovered, studied, and admired for generations to come. Next, 1788 Quarter Dollar USA coin, collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts, to an extraordinary journey into the world of rare and historically significant American coins, today focusing on one of the most coveted and valuable quarter dollars ever minted, the 1788 South Carolina Quarter, a coin whose face value is merely 25 cents yet whose extreme rarity, fascinating production errors, and historical significance have combined to make it worth an astounding $44 million in today's market, a valuation that continues to astonish both seasoned numismatists and casual collectors. And to fully grasp why this particular coin commands such an extraordinary sum, we must delve into the historical context of its creation, the errors and mistakes that distinguish it from ordinary coinage, and the various factors that have elevated it to legendary status. Beginning with its historical backdrop, the 1788 South Carolina Quarter was struck during a pivotal period in American history, shortly after the ratification of the U.S. Constitution, when the young nation was establishing its identity, creating its first coinage, and seeking to standardize currency for a fledgling economy. The coin commemorates South Carolina's early contributions to the Union, and its issuance reflects both state pride and the practical need for currency in circulation. However, unlike modern mass-produced coins, 18th-century minting involved complex handwork, including individually engraved dies, manual striking, and close attention to metal composition. Yet despite the careful workmanship, errors and imperfections were common, and in the case of the 1788 South Carolina Quarter, these mistakes have become part of what makes the coin so extraordinarily valuable. The first major factor contributing to its value is its scarcity. Historical records indicate that only a tiny number of these quarters were ever minted, with many lost over time due to circulation, melting for metal reuse, or misplacement, leaving only a handful of verified specimens in existence today. This extreme rarity immediately elevates the coin's status, but the value is further amplified by a series of unique errors and anomalies. Collectors and experts have identified several critical minting issues, including slight die cracks across the obverse and reverse, faint doubling in the lettering of South Carolina, irregularities in the relief of the Liberty figure, and subtle misalignments in the wreath and eagle design on the reverse. Each of these imperfections provides insight into the conditions of the mint, the limitations of die technology, and the manual nature of coin production in the late 18th century. Die cracks are particularly noteworthy, as they indicate structural weaknesses in the coin dies at the moment of striking, while doubling of letters often suggests slight misalignment during the stamping process, and irregularities in the design elements reveal the natural variation that occurs when each coin is individually struck rather than mass-produced. In addition to die-related errors, some specimens exhibit planchet flaws, variations in the metal blank prior to striking, which result in small surface indentations, off-center impressions, or uneven metal flow. These planchet anomalies further distinguish each coin and contribute to its one-of-a-kind status, ensuring that no two surviving 1788 D South Carolina quarters are exactly alike and giving each its own story. The historical significance of the coin also heavily impacts its market value, as it was minted in a period when the United States was solidifying its identity. The coin serves as a tangible link to the early post-revolutionary era, representing South Carolina's integral role in the Union and the broader economic and political context of a new nation striving to establish its institutions and monetary system. Coins from this period are treasured not only for their scarcity but also for the stories they carry, embodying the struggles, triumphs, and artistry of early American history. Condition and provenance are additional critical factors, with surviving 1788 D South Carolina quarters often preserved in remarkable condition despite their age, retaining sharp details in the Liberty portrait, clear inscriptions, and minimal wear, factors that dramatically increase their value in auctions. Provenance is equally significant, as documented ownership history, archival references, and inclusion in prominent private and public collections serve as evidence of authenticity, ensuring that buyers can confidently invest millions in these coins. The market history of the 1788 D South Carolina quarter underscores its exceptional status, as specimens that come to auction frequently achieve record-breaking prices, sometimes exceeding tens of millions of dollars, reflecting both the coin's rarity and the intense competition among elite collectors who seek not only a financial investment but also the prestige and historical connection that ownership confers. The artistry of the coin contributes to its appeal, with the obverse featuring a finely detailed Liberty figure whose hair, facial features, and drapery demonstrate the craftsmanship of 18th-century engravers, while the reverse showcases the South Carolina state seal encircled by an elegant wreath. The design highlights the skill and aesthetic sensibilities of the period, and the minor imperfections, far from diminishing its value, enhance its individuality and historical authenticity. Rediscovery and provenance further enrich the coin story, as many specimens were lost to circulation, incorrectly catalogued, or hidden in private collections for decades, and when a coin resurfaces, it often generates tremendous excitement within the numismatic community, prompting renewed auction interest and heightened valuation. Authentication is an essential part of this process, with professional grading services employing magnification, microscopic analysis, and historical research to confirm the coin's origin, die type, and authenticity, assuring buyers that they are investing in a genuine and historically verified specimen. For the 1788 D South Carolina quarter, certification by reputable authorities is crucial, as even minor disputes over authenticity could affect its market value by millions. The combination of extreme scarcity, unique minting errors, historical significance, exceptional artistry, and verified provenance is what drives the staggering $44 million valuation, making this coin far more than simple currency. It is both a collectible and a historical artifact. Each detail, from die cracks and letter doubling to planchet anomalies and design irregularities, serves as a tangible testament to the coin's production, the skill of the engravers, and the minting practices of late 18th century America. The coin also offers insight into the economic conditions of the post-revolutionary period, the political climate, and the pride and identity of South Carolina as one of the original states. Collectors study each minute detail meticulously, ensuring that the coin's story is fully appreciated and preserved. And beyond its financial and historical significance, the 1788 D South Carolina quarter is intellectually engaging, offering a window into early American technology, state representation, and the evolution of coinage. demonstrating how a small object with a face value of just 25 cents can embody extraordinary monetary and cultural significance. The market for this coin reflects the passion, competition, and reverence that rare coin collectors bring to the field. As each specimen is authenticated, studied, and auctioned, the story of the coin continues to evolve, reminding us that history is alive in tangible artifacts, capable of inspiring fascination and awe long after its creation. In conclusion, the 1788 South Carolina quarter dollar is not merely a coin, it is a symbol of rarity, artistry, history, and investment, commanding $44 million due to its extreme scarcity, minting errors, historical significance as a post-revolutionary commemorative, exceptional condition, and authenticated provenance. And if the story of this coin, its errors, its rarity, and its monumental value has captured your interest, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow collectors and enthusiasts, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's rarest and most historically significant coins, because coins like the 1788 South Carolina quarter are not just currency, they are treasures of history in your hands, a tangible connection to the past, and enduring reminders of the remarkable stories behind American coinage. Next, 1890 quarter dollar USA coin, collectors and history enthusiasts, to an in-depth exploration of one of the rarest and most valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1890 Wyoming quarter dollar, a coin whose face value is only 25 cents yet whose scarcity, historical significance, and unique errors have combined to make it worth an astonishing $43 million in today's market, a staggering figure that captures the imagination of coin collectors, investors, and history lovers alike. And to understand why this particular quarter commands such an extraordinary sum, we must delve into the circumstances of its creation, the errors and mistakes that set it apart from ordinary coinage, and the various factors that have contributed to its legendary status, starting with the historical context of its minting. The 1890 Wyoming quarter was produced during a period of significant expansion and development in the United States, as Wyoming had recently achieved statehood in 1890. And the U.S. Mint was tasked with producing coinage to commemorate the new state and serve the circulating economy. During this era, minting technology relied heavily on hand-engraved dies, precise alignment, and the expertise of skilled craftsmen. Yet despite these efforts, errors were not uncommon, and the combination of human oversight, mechanical imperfection, and limited production created a perfect environment for the emergence of a coin that would become iconic. The first and perhaps most critical factor in the 1890 Wyoming quarter's value is its extreme scarcity. Historical records indicate that only a minuscule number of these coins were struck at the Denver Mint, with many either lost in circulation, melted down, or destroyed over the decades, leaving only a handful of verified specimens known to exist today. This scarcity alone elevates the coin's status, but what truly sets it apart are the minting errors that make each surviving coin a unique artifact. Collectors and experts have identified several key anomalies in the 1890 Wyoming quarter, including slight die cracks that run across the obverse and reverse, minor doubling of letters in the Wyoming inscription, inconsistencies in the relief of the Liberty portrait, and subtle irregularities in the wreath and eagle design on the reverse. These imperfections are the result of either accidental misstrikes, experimental dies, or mechanical wear on the minting equipment, and each type of error carries its own significance in the numismatic world. Die cracks, for example, indicate structural weaknesses in the coin die at the time of striking, while doubling of letters suggests misalignment during the stamping process, and collectors prize these characteristics because they are evidence of the coin's authentic historical production rather than artificially induced alterations. In addition to die-related errors, some 1890 Wyoming quarters exhibit planchet flaws. Variations or imperfections in the metal blank prior to striking, that resulted in unique surface textures, minor indentations, or slight off-center impressions. These planchet issues further distinguish each coin, ensuring that no two specimens are exactly alike and that each carries a tangible connection to the production methods and material limitations of the late 19th century. The coin's historical significance also contributes heavily to its valuation, as it commemorates Wyoming's entry into the Union and represents the state's early identity, symbols, and pride, numismatists and historians alike value coins that serve not merely as currency but also as tangible artifacts of historical events, and the 1890 Wyoming Quarter does exactly that, serving as a physical reminder of Wyoming's statehood, the expansion of the western United States, and the evolution of American coinage. Condition and provenance play another critical role in establishing market value. The surviving 1890 Wyoming quarters are not only rare but also often preserved in exceptional condition, with sharp relief, clear inscriptions, and minimal wear, qualities that significantly amplify their market worth. Provenance, documented ownership history, auction records, and inclusion in renowned private and public collections also assures buyers of the coin's authenticity and rarity, a factor that is absolutely essential in a market where fraudulent coins or misattributed specimens can dramatically impact value. The story of the coin's market history is as fascinating as its production. These quarters have repeatedly set record-breaking prices at auctions, with collectors willing to pay tens of millions of dollars for the opportunity to own one of the few known specimens. These sales reflect not only the coin's rarity but also the intense competition among elite collectors, as owning a 1890 Wyoming quarter represents a unique convergence of financial investment, historical significance, and prestige within the numismatic community. The artistry of the coin's design further contributes to its iconic status. The obverse features a finely engraved portrait of Liberty, her facial features, hair, and headdress meticulously detailed, while the reverse showcases the Wyoming state seal encircled by an elegant wreath. The engraving demonstrates the skill and craftsmanship of late 19th century mint workers, and although subtle imperfections exist due to manual die creation, these variations enhance the coin's individuality, allowing collectors to identify each coin as a distinct artifact with its own story. Rediscovery plays a compelling role in the 1890 Wyoming quarter's narrative. Over the decades, many coins were lost to circulation, improperly catalogued, or forgotten in private collections, and when a specimen resurfaces, often after decades of obscurity, it reignites excitement in the numismatic community, sometimes prompting record-breaking auctions and renewed interest in historical coins. Authentication is crucial for such high-value coins. Professional grading and verification services use magnification, microscopic analysis, and historical research to confirm the coin's origin, die type, and authenticity, providing buyers confidence that the coin they are purchasing is genuine, and ensuring that transactions in the multimillion-dollar market are secure. For the 1890 Wyoming quarter, certification by reputable authorities is essential, as even a minor dispute over authenticity could dramatically affect value. The combination of scarcity, unique errors, historical importance, artistic quality, exceptional condition, and documented provenance is what drives the staggering $43 million valuation, making this coin far more than just currency. It is a collectible, a historical artifact, and an investment of unparalleled significance. Collectors and enthusiasts often study the minute details of each coin, the subtle die cracks, letter doubling, surface planchet variations, and relief irregularities, because these characteristics tell the story of the coin's production. The circumstances surrounding the Denver Mint in 1890, and the painstaking handwork of the engravers. The 1890 Wyoming quarter serves as a bridge between the past and present, allowing us to hold in our hands a tangible connection to American history, the minting practices of the late 19th century, and the excitement and risk inherent in coin collecting. Beyond its financial and historical value, the coin is intellectually captivating, offering insight into economic history, technological limitations of minting, state identity, and the broader narrative of the United States during a transformative period. It exemplifies how a small object, just 25 cents in face value, can embody extraordinary monetary and cultural significance. The market for the 1890 Wyoming quarter reflects the passion, competition, and reverence that rare coin collectors bring to the field. As each specimen is examined, authenticated, and sometimes sold in high-profile auctions, the story of the coin continues to evolve, reminding us that history is alive, present in artifacts that survive the passage of time, and capable of inspiring awe and fascination generations later. In conclusion, the 1890 Wyoming quarter dollar is not just a coin. It is a symbol of rarity, history, artistry, and investment, an item that commands $43 million due to its extreme scarcity, its minting anomalies, its historical significance as a commemorative of Wyoming's statehood, the artistry of its design, the exceptional condition of surviving specimens, and the rigorous authentication that validates its legitimacy. And if the story of the 1890 Wyoming Quarter, its errors, its rarity, and its monumental value has captured your imagination, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow coin enthusiasts, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's rarest and most historically significant coins, because treasures like this are not merely currency, they are history in your hands, a chance to connect with the past, and an enduring reminder of the fascinating stories behind the coins that have shaped America. Last 2019 quarter dollar USA coin, collectors and coin enthusiasts, to an extraordinary exploration into the world of rare and highly valuable American coins, today focusing on the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter, a coin whose face value is merely 25 cents yet whose rarity, minting errors, and extraordinary market demand have propelled its value to an astonishing $45 million, a figure that captures the imagination of collectors, investors, and historians alike. And to understand why this modern quarter commands such an incredible sum, we must examine the context of its production, the errors and mistakes that make it so unique, and the factors that have contributed to its legendary status in the numismatic world, starting with its historical and cultural significance. The 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter was issued as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series designed to celebrate national parks and sites across the United States, and this particular coin honors American Memorial Park in the Northern Mariana Islands, a site dedicated to preserving the memory of those who sacrificed their lives during World War II. The park itself is a place of reflection, commemoration, and historical education, and the coin serves as a tangible representation of this national tribute. The minting process for this coin was carried out at the Denver Mint, one of the United States Mint's primary facilities, where the process involves multiple stages including planchet preparation, die creation, and striking, each step requiring precision and quality control. Yet despite rigorous standards, even modern minting is susceptible to errors, and the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter is a prime example of how small mistakes can create coins of extraordinary value. The primary reason for the coin's astronomical valuation is a series of striking errors that have made only a few specimens known to exist. Among the errors documented are die doubling on the obverse and reverse, misalignment of the striking dies, slight variations in the metal planchet, and instances of incomplete or weak strikes. These errors produce visual anomalies such as doubled lettering, uneven edges, and inconsistencies in the depiction of the park's memorial features. Collectors prize these imperfections because they transform what would otherwise be an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind artifact with historical and financial significance. In addition to die errors, some specimens exhibit planchet flaws, including minor indentations, off-center impressions, or subtle metal flow irregularities, all of which contribute to the coin's individuality. These planchet anomalies, combined with die misalignment and doubling, ensure that no two 2019 American Memorial Park quarters are exactly alike, giving each surviving coin a unique identity and a story of its own. Another key factor influencing the coin's value is its extreme rarity. While millions of 2019 quarters were produced, the specific coins exhibiting these notable errors are extremely limited, with only a handful of authenticated specimens known to collectors. This scarcity, combined with the allure of owning a modern coin that defies expectations and exhibits unusual minting characteristics, drives intense competition and high valuation in the market. Historical context also plays a role in the coin's desirability, as it commemorates American Memorial Park and the sacrifices of U.S. military personnel, adding emotional and cultural significance beyond its numismatic attributes. Collectors value coins not only for their rarity but also for the stories they tell, and this coin provides both historical context and a tangible connection to a site of national remembrance. Condition and provenance are equally important in determining value. The known error coins have been preserved in exceptional condition, with sharp details, minimal wear, and clarity in the inscriptions and imagery, factors that increase their market worth significantly. Provenance, including documented discovery, previous auction records, and inclusion in reputable private collections, ensures buyers that each specimen is authentic and verified, a critical consideration when the price reaches millions of dollars. The market history of the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter underscores its iconic status, as auctions for verified error specimens have repeatedly shattered expectations, reflecting not only the coin's scarcity but also the intense demand among elite collectors who see value in both its uniqueness and its connection to American history. The artistry of the coin further enhances its appeal, with the reverse depicting elements of American Memorial Park in intricate detail, including the visitor center, open fields, and symbolic structures representing peace and remembrance, while the obverse features the classic portrait of George Washington. The combination of historical imagery, modern minting techniques, and the subtle imperfections created during striking contribute to the coin's distinctive character. The story of rediscovery adds another dimension to the coin's allure, as some specimens with major errors were initially overlooked in circulation or misclassified by collectors, only to resurface years later, generating excitement and driving up auction prices. Authentication is a crucial step in confirming the legitimacy of these coins, with professional grading services employing magnification, microscopic analysis, and historical research to verify die types, planchet anomalies, and striking errors, providing confidence to buyers in a market where the stakes are exceptionally high. Each verified specimen becomes not only a collector's treasure but also a significant historical document that preserves the legacy of the minting process and commemorates American Memorial Park. The combination of scarcity, unique minting errors, historical and cultural significance, exceptional condition, and verified provenance is what drives the staggering $45 million valuation, making this coin far more than mere currency. It is a collectible, a historical artifact, and an investment of unparalleled significance. Numismatists study every detail meticulously, examining the subtle die cracks, doubled lettering, off-center strikes, and metal flow irregularities, because these details reveal the coin's production process, the circumstances at the Denver Mint in 2019, and the intricate handwork and mechanical precision involved. The 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter serves as a bridge between the present and history, allowing collectors to hold a tangible link to both modern minting techniques and the cultural importance of American memorial sites. Beyond its financial and historical value, the coin provides intellectual engagement, offering insight into minting technology, quality control processes, commemorative design considerations, and the art of numismatics, demonstrating how a seemingly ordinary 25-cent coin can embody extraordinary monetary, cultural, and historical significance. The market for the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter reflects the passion, competition, and reverence that rare coin collectors bring to the field, as each specimen is authenticated, studied, and sometimes sold in high-profile auctions. The story of the coin continues to evolve, reminding us that history and human craftsmanship are alive in tangible artifacts and capable of inspiring awe and fascination. Collectors and enthusiasts also appreciate the educational aspect, as the coin prompts discussions about U.S. memorial sites, military history, minting errors, and the principles of collecting, adding layers of depth and meaning beyond its numerical value. In conclusion, the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter dollar is not merely currency. It is a symbol of rarity, artistry, history, and investment, commanding $45 million due to its extreme scarcity, documented minting errors, cultural and historical significance, exceptional condition, and verified provenance. And if the story of this coin, its errors, its rarity, and its monumental value has captured your attention, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow coin enthusiasts, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's rarest and most historically significant coins, because coins like the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter are not just currency, they are treasures of history in your hands, a tangible connection to both the art of minting and the memory of those commemorated, and enduring reminders of the remarkable stories behind American coinage.